Just hustling hard, just trying to survive out here. One, two, get 'em. Just hustling hard, just trying to survive out here. Mm, mm, All right, had to get that out of my system, but that's how I be feeling. Goddamn. YouTube, what it do? I'm still on the same shirt from the same recap because I'm recording it back to back. So what? What you got? You got a problem with it? Big whoop. Want to fight about it? Anyway. Alright guys, so this was the trade recap from Tuesday, May 13th. So yeah, let's just get straight into it again, shall we? Alright guys, so previous day, Monday, we were looking for shorts and price continued to the downside, breaking the 15-minute low for this session on Monday. But coming into Tuesday, I had a bit of a different kind of game plan here because as you can see right now, price is indeed bearish and we're already inside of this level of interest, and this is what I was looking at as I was getting to the charts today. But keeping in mind, Tuesday was CPI news release, so I did not want to trade in front of CPI news release because obviously that's how you get your ass handed to you, you know what I'm saying, and it's never fun to do that. But anyway, this was my M15 swing high. But if I was looking at price, in theory, yes, I should be looking for sales here, and price is consolidating and kind of stalling in this area, so it's looking like it wants to deliver to the downside, continuing that 15-minute trend, breaking lows. But I have to keep in mind that Monday we did have this big gap right here, so I'm thinking, will we really continue to sell off today without filling at least the 50% of this imbalance? And I'm thinking, okay, that might not happen today. I'm still going to trade my intraday time frame, which is the 15-minute time frame, and follow that directly. But I had two sorts of possibilities coming into the day. So my first possibility was price deliver to the sell side, continuing the 15-minute trend, or we continue to climb higher and we eventually break the 15-minute trend and we have some sort of change of character and price comes to rally to come for this imbalance in here. So let's just play price forward and see how the day reacts or how the day unfolds. But another thing too to keep in mind is zooming out on the 4-hour. You have to keep in mind that these zones, I'm gonna delete this. That's from today's session, but we have to keep in mind that we had a 4-hour break last week. So with that being said, the 4-hour can't drop forever, can it? That's right. So it's looking like the 4-hour could potentially have some sort of pullback for the day to come for this little level of interest here to mitigate something in here and continue price to the downside. So ultimately I am still bearish on fiber, but you know, we have to take price each day as it can because I am an intraday trader. So another thing too as well, we have been met with a level of interest on the daily time frame. So as you can see here, I'm not gonna, well, let's just go to the daily. That'll just be, keep it nice and concise, right? Nice and concise and clear. So we're also met with this daily level of interest here. So as you can see, we have this whole daily bullish order block here that price has come down into. So price is guaranteed to have some sort of reaction off of that, because I mean, it is the daily, right? That is a strong indication of price. So I have to keep in mind that price is met at that 4-hour I mean, price is met at that daily level of interest here, and also price is needing a pullback on the 4 hours. So you got to keep your whole, bird's eye view of everything when it comes to price. So coming back into the 15-minute time frame, I'm looking at price to see what it's going to do on the intraday. That's what I'm mostly focused on, during my session. What are we going to do today? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, price was around 8:15, 8 o'clock when I got to the charts today. And keep in mind there is CPI at 8:30. So let's just play price forward to the CPI news release. So price is doing what it's doing, and boom. As you can see, CPI news release completely breaks outside of my point of interest here, and it breaks and closes. So that tells me that the 15-minute is no longer bearish and we had a change in sentiment. So let's zoom into, well, first let me change this color because I'm a neat freak. There we go. So let's zoom into the 1 minute time frame to see what price action is doing on the 1 minute. So boom, price breaks outside of my 15-minute level of interest here. So now in this scenario, once price breaks outside of my 15-minute level of interest, I'm thinking, okay, price could definitely gravitate to that imbalance that I was looking at, or that imbalance that kind of occurred on Monday London Open. So that's still like the prime magnet for price, as I was thinking, or what I was thinking for this session. That's probably the main target for the session. So what I'm looking at here, let me bring this down, is the continuation. So once price closes outside of my level, this is when I started to look for longs in this area, just because this level no longer folds. So I'm looking at this 15-minute level of interest as a flip zone. So as you can see here, price is continuing to break structure to the upside, and be putting in these minor breaks, these minor swing highs and swing lows on although they aren't as expansive, they still do matter. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to mark out these highs and lows. Yeah, so boom, we're just continuing to break price to the upside. So now I'm looking for entries to take price up to, if I zoom out to the 15-minute, and I sort of measure out this imbalance here from the high to the close of the imbalance, 50% level. Let's change the color. What is it? 50%. This. So yeah, the 50% of this imbalance is what I was looking to take price to. Why are you doing that? Don't you supposed to be showing? Wow, that's really weird, isn't it? Let's change that down. So yeah, I was looking to take price to here if I were to get in for some longs, which I did. This is why we're here for the recap today. So going back down to the 1 minute, this is when I start to look for longs in this market. So it's not yet 9:30, so I was being a little bit patient for price to kind of give me a clearer picture. So kind of waiting here. As you can see, price is now inside of this 1 minute order block, bullish order block. So let's see how price kind of plays out going forward. So eventually we come down deeper into the order block and wick the high, but initially looking at price action in deep detail here, we get a close, barely a close, but zooming in, as you can see, we did have a body close above this high, breaking structure again to the upside. So now I'm definitely interested in getting in for longs on fiber at this current point in time, but there's nothing inside of this current leg that I want to get involved from, so I'll be more patient to wait for price to see how it develops. So playing price forward, it's doing what it's doing. And we have a deep pullback here. Let me mark out the swing ranges so you guys can kind of see what I'm looking at. So yeah, we have our 1 minute swing high and we have our 1 minute swing low as it currently stands. As far as swing low. So yeah, patiently waiting for price to develop to give me something that I'd be interested in getting involved in. But at the current moment, there's nothing. But nevertheless, price is still respecting this price range, and we start to get some volume a little bit after market open. See, market open happened around when price started to kind of sell off here. This 930 candle was actually a little bit further back. This was the 930 opening candle, but price rallied down, still respecting, you know, this whole kind of level in here, or this with this 1 minute price range. We're still respecting it. We haven't broken the low, so we're still just kind of consolidating and playing inside of the zone, but nevertheless still waiting for a break to the upside again to give me a new range so I can look for an entry. And I think it was around 1041 when we get another break to the upside. So at this point now, we got another break, looking for an entry. Is there anything that I want to get involved from? Well, yes, because the first thing that stands out to me would be this valid extreme down here. It's kind of valid extreme zone with these two kind of candles needing to be swept to kind of fuel the move to the upside. So I would be looking for something like this to kind of transpire to take price higher. But let's just play price forward and see if it comes down to tag us into anything. So playing price forward, consolidating. Well, let me rewind price a little bit, because I think the move already happened. So waiting for price to either break high, break higher, or give me the pullback to my new and improved 1 minute swing low, which will be this point here, which was the deepest pullback before the break of the previous high. So playing price forward here. Let's see what it does. See if we get a break above the high or the close. So boom, here. This is when we get a break. So now we have a new breaker structure here. So now this although this is a break, I still would consider this still valid, because all this is consolidation. There's no real 2 candle pullback, or let alone a 3 candle pullback, because the 3 candle pullback is what I want to see to make sure that this is a significant high on the 1 minute time frame. So didn't really get that, although we did kind of run on this high here. I wouldn't more so count that as a break, but let alone it is a break, but it's not a significant break. So price is kind of doing what it's doing, and I'm waiting for price to pull back. Or did I miss the entry? I feel like I'm missing something here, but let's just kind of play price forward and see what it's doing. So price is starting to rally. Okay, here we are again. So again, this wasn't a significant break, but it was a break. And here we had a one candle pullback, and we had 2 candle pullback, and now I'm looking to realign myself in the market with this sort of break that happened here. So now this zone down here is definitely no longer valid, as we've still breaking structure to the upside. Whoa. So now this is when I start to look for my entry again. Let's put this on top so we can make it clear. Boom. So yeah, guys, this is when I decided to start to look for my entry again. And the first level of interest that stood out to me was kind of this last pivotal point here, where price swept this low here. But yeah, well, let me put this on the bottom. Can't make it clear because I'm kind of neat freak. So price swept that low here, and then boom, ran to the upside. So this tells me that this area here was the origin of this entire move that happened, fueling price to the upside. So now this would become my new level that I want to get involved from. So initially I drew my zone or my bullish order block in a manner like this, and which is fairly good, I would say. This is a very clean point of interest to get involved from. So that was my bullish order block, and let me go ahead and draw my parameter. But before I draw that, or before I bring that out, I want to show you guys kind of in the last few minutes of price pulling back, I decided to rearrange my level of interest because it's pretty late in the session, going around 11:09. Well, not 11:09, 11:20 to be more exact. And I decided to bring my entry to cover this entire imbalance here, just because of how late it is in the session. And I don't believe, well, from my experience, as the session, the more later in the session, you know, price doesn't give you it doesn't always give you the exact feel that you want to get. So this is why I sort of rearranged my entry, because I knew, well, I didn't know per se, but I always have an inkling that price will not give me the exact feel that I was looking for, or the exact sniper entry to my order block on how I want to get in. So initially I had it here, but I decided to bring it up to cover the entire imbalance here. And this is when I drew my parameters to get involved for some longs. So boom, this was my entry here, and right at this sort of imbalance. And it didn't quite tag into my zone because I had it up kind of high, kind of more so covering here. So I decided to get in on that last kind of sell to buy sort of zone here. So this whole sort of zone was my area of interest, and price tags me in with the wick, and let's see how it delivers. So playing price forward, we get a nice reaction, and we break this sort of internal high, but I had not yet rolled my stop to break even, because this is still kind of too soon to take my risk off the table, because price can come back, boom, sweep deeper into this level, and then start to deliver. So the risk is still on, waiting for more price action to develop, but got a nice reaction after I got tagged in, and price is doing what it's doing, and we're rallying to the upside. So as I can see here, we did have another break, and once price put in another break to the upside, this is when I officially rolled my stop to break even, essentially taking my risk off of the table. So if I can find that trend line where I had, God damn it, bro. Okay, boom. This is when I roll my stop to break even. So that little yellow line here is where I rolled my stop to. And yeah, let's continue to play price forward and see if we deliver to a 1 to 3. But let's go back out and kind of zoom back out, because remember, we're still aiming for that imbalance here. So let me put a line segment on final target. So as you can see, price isn't too far away from my overall target, which was, you see, the full take profit was around a 1 to, it's kind of off, but it was like a 3.58. Right now it's saying it's like a 3.6, but it's really like a 3.5 risk to reward. But yeah, nevertheless, I'm still targeting a 1 to 3. Yeah, so boom, let's play price forward and see how it starts to deliver afterwards. So after price put in this breaking structure, I see another level of interest to get involved from. So after my stop is rolled to break even on the first position, I start to look for another entry, risking significantly less just to, again, maximize those gains. So this is where I was looking for to get involved again on the next position for, again, still a 1 to 3. Hey, let's pay price forward and see what it does. So still kind of consolidating around this level, and I will take off my new limit on the scale in if price breaks this high. So let's just play price forward and see what it does, and eventually we form equal highs and we break. So again, breaking structure to the upside, and I go ahead and delete this limit and just stick to the one position that I have on and see if price reaches my target. So again, right now we're rolling into the afternoon session, and price action really starts to move slow after that, but nevertheless, price starts to do what it's doing, come for a pullback. And if I would have been, I guess, a bit more patient, price comes and tags in for the scale in, but again, wasn't following my rules, so price broken structure to the upside. So realistically, my new scale in would have been here because we've broken new structure, but still this area still holds loads of liquidity. So price came back down, sweeping these lows, and we continue to fire to the upside. So that would have been a nice continuation entry rolling into the afternoon session around 12:20, 1 o'clock, and we start to deliver. So around this level, we're getting fairly close to my target and playing price forward. We had another break structure, so after this break, I can either expect price to either run straight to my target, or we come for another retracement, mitigating this nice level of interest within here, and to continue price to the upside. And let's just play price forward and see what it does here. And it looks like that is exactly what happens. Price comes to that next level of interest, and boom, you still start to deliver from there. So price is looking quite good. It's respecting order flow quite nicely. Still haven't quite reached my target yet, but once price put in this break here, I rolled my stop loss. I rolled my stop loss to under this low, so securing a little bit more profit, not too much, but still enough to cover commission costs and things of that nature. But that's where I wrote my new stop to, since we came back to mitigate this level. And yeah, this price is doing what it's doing, and eventually we come and we smash my take profit. So once price got to my take profit, this is when I closed 95% of the position. And yeah, with the 5% running, I decide to go ahead and target that 50% of that imbalance that my whole bias was kind of shaped around. Then kind of stalled out for a little bit, but eventually price reached my full take profit. So this is when I closed my entire position, netting me $180 on this trade. So yeah, pretty good trade idea for today. Had to be a little bit patient with this one because this whole thing kind of transpired near the end of my session, but I was going to see it through though, since I've already got tagged in and price was delivering quite nicely. But yeah, guys, that was the trade idea from Tuesday. And yeah, EU has been delivering nice lately, but again, I just want to continue to take high probable setups and follow my plan to a T, and making sure I'm staying sharp on the charts day in and day out. You know, keep showing up, man. Keep building these accounts, keep being disciplined, keep making sure I have the right mental framework more than anything. And I feel like that's where I can get derailed the most, is the mental framework, because the strategy is there, bro. I mean, I've been, you know, constantly critiquing showing up with my strategy for like, well, I've been trading for like 3 years now. So, and I really started trading live capital like last year. Was it? I think last year. Yeah, it had to be like last year sometime, but still trying to get it in, man, and still getting those base hits and getting those reps. But like I always say, man, you get to these charts, you know what you're supposed to do. So stick to the plan, stick to your model, make sure your mental framework is there, bro, and just keep showing up. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this trade recap. I don't know if I popped it up on the screen already, but yeah, guys, I'll pop it up on the screen. I haven't already, the trading summary for this trade idea. Yeah, guys, maybe y'all keep rising and stay easy, stay breezy. Keep striving after them goals, man, because that's going to give you the most fulfillment in life. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Super slow, you run through my mind. I know I can't be yours.